Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lorraine. My nickname is Rainey, and you can call me Rainey. If you are new, welcome. And if you are returning, I want to give a big thank you for coming back. Today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about gratitude and blessings. Here in the US, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, and so it gives you reason to think about the things in your life that you are grateful for. I have a true confession here. I tend to be a little bit pessimistic, more of an Eeyore than a Winnie the Pooh. And so it ends up, I'm not sure really why that is, but ends up being a challenge for me sometimes to think about the things that make my glass half full instead of half empty. So come along, let's do a little painting and do a little talking. And I'd love to hear what you are grateful for this year. Come on, let's go. Let's create. Before we get into counting our blessings and things that we're grateful for, I wanted to give you a little summary of what's happening here on the screen. I've used a piece of Strathmore watercolor cardstock, and I created a little guide. I used that little piece of plastic, create this little oval so I know where I'm going to put my design, and then we're going to have our message in the middle of this sweet little border. So I used just a light hand with it and kind of just did a little sketch of where I want my pumpkins to be and little acorns and so forth. And you're going to see it's very imperfect, but we're going to sort it out at the end. So I guess gratitude and blessings are on my mind right now because we just celebrated Thanksgiving here in the United States, and my sons were here and my grandkids were here. My son Jonathan lives very nearby, just a couple of minutes, but my other son Michael and my grandkids are living on Long Island. And the Long Island trip to Vermont takes a little bit longer than when I lived in upstate New York. And so they were on the road for 4.5 or 5 hours. And they came in on Wednesday night, so I didn't see them until Thanksgiving morning when they came over and we had breakfast together. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful they safely traveled up here in the dark and in the rain, and they got a good night's sleep, and then we were all together. Anyone who has grown kids, I guess they're not kids anymore, knows that it's a rare event a lot of times when we can all get together. And so I am so grateful that we were all together. The laughter was loud. The room was filled with laughter and joking. And my son Jonathan brought his 2 dogs over, Jerry and Newman. And with my dog Tucker, who's a lab, and Jerry and Newman, who are French bulldogs, they were running through the apartment and just creating this wonderful chaos. And in the past, I might have let that stress me out, but as I've gotten older, I realized that that's what life is. It can be messy and unpredictable, but sometimes you just gotta loosen up, and that's what I've made an effort to do over the years. A lot of times the holidays can be stressful, a lot of food prep, and then Christmas comes on the heels of Thanksgiving, so you have a lot of gifts to purchase and money to spend, and it can become very stressful, and it can take away, honestly, from the true meaning of the season. Thanksgiving is for giving thanks and sharing a meal, and it should be as simple as that. And instead, in our society, we complicate things so much by putting layers of expectations and grandiose offerings and so forth. So I put out my best effort at cooking. The turkey was not dried out, so there's something I'm grateful for. We had plenty of food, which I know in this world sometimes there are people who don't have enough. We had a warm place to stay. We were together. And so that's just one day of things that I think about that I'm grateful for. And then it's hard sometimes when we're in our day-to-day lives and we're trying to slug it out and, you know, find meaning and do our finances and keep our household running, and it can become a little overwhelming at times, and you can become discontented. And that's where the test of our gratitude really comes in. It's when things aren't going the way we hoped, and when our life maybe didn't turn out the way we were thinking it would. It's at those times when we need to dig deep and really try to find things in our lives that we are grateful for. I mean, it's easy to look at the negative. I admit to being a little bit more of an Eeyore than a Winnie the Pooh. I tend to have a little bit more of a pessimistic attitude. And so these days, knowing that, I'm trying more and more to face life with gratitude. If not now, when will I change that? Today's the day to change it, or at least try to change it, and to catch myself when I start going down that oh me, poor me road, because that is just a road that's going to take you nowhere. And so I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my pets. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my God. And I'm grateful for whatever lays ahead. I know that's a risky thing to say because we don't know if it's all good. I mean, we can rest assured that in life we really are going to face challenges. And so if you're going into it with an attitude of gratitude and blessing, you have a better chance to come through it in a healthy way. I guess this little note card is sort of symbolic in a way. I mean, you may have noticed how I painted all these little supposed leaves, and they were a little bit of a mess. And I know I was thinking, how am I going to sort that out? Well, sometimes in life and in art, you just have to improvise. So I'm sorting it out by adding a little bit of ink, and that's how we sort out things in our lives that aren't going the way they are. We need to improvise. We need to think outside the box. We need to allow ourselves to make an adjustment. And we also need to be aware that life isn't without its challenges. It never will be. It's how we grow. And so what I have tried to do is tried to learn some things along the way. And count my blessings, meaning literally sit down in the morning in my journal and write down what I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's sitting there with the sun streaming through the window and a hot cup of coffee. Sometimes it's just being grateful that Tucker is sleeping and not staring at me for some chow. Sometimes it's just gratitude that my cat Bob is not on the dining room table again. It can be simple, it can be funny, it can be fun. And I guess the best thing that I can say is count your blessings, love the people in your life, and take an escape into creativity every now and then. It feeds the soul. Thank you for watching.